What's up, guys? It's your boy KK10, and we're gonna do something different today. I've been kind of in the DraftKings, daily fantasy streets. If any of you guys know of Underdog Draft Streets, and yeah, I just kind of wanted to go over and maybe shift this channel from what it was into more of a DFS or daily fantasy sports channel. So with that, obviously it's the off season. There's no daily fantasy sports going on right now for NFL. There's obviously for other sports, which sometimes I dabble into. But for now, we're going to focus on Underdog and the Underdog best ball drafts that are currently going on. So if you guys do not know, Underdog has best ball drafts going on pretty much all summer. And basically, you're drafting for the regular season. So kind of how fantasy football drafts work. Come August, we'll be starting here with the Underdog best ball drafts, which basically going all summer, and they've already opened up some. So the way this is gonna work is I'm gonna do a draft with you guys every video, kind of go over my thought processes through every pick. Obviously, be chopped up just to kind of quicken and not make you guys wait around. But maybe I'll do a couple live streams if there's enough interest where I kind of talk through it all. But obviously, it's going to be chopped up and just kind of showing maybe one or two picks before mine and my thought process going into my pick. So not only that, but I'll also lead off with a couple of tips and things I'm noticing in these drafts to kind of help you guys out and which way I'm leaning towards one way or the other and how to approach each draft. And obviously these tips aren't like hard-coded must follows, but maybe just a couple things to help you along the way in each draft. And quickly before we head into this video, make sure you follow me on Twitter at KarenMeKatra or just search up KK10 on Twitter, and make sure you guys sub here as well. And if I do stream, it might end up being on Twitch, but I'm not sure. I'll post that on my Twitter, so just make sure you follow there for all the info. And with that, let's get into the first tip of the video. Alright, so the first tip, or kind of what I'm noticing, is that I like wide receivers up until kind of like this mid-third round, and then like coming back to it later. So what I mean by that is these first, 2-3 rounds, as you can see, I was pick here, AJ Moon 44. I really like the wide receivers up until this point, so I kind of took the last of my tier there in Chris Olave. I don't really like Calvin Ridley either, but kind of everything, kind of all the wide receivers before, I end up liking, and then there's kind of a drop off for me. So after Chris Olave, this nuke to kind of this Christian Watson, Chris Godwin range, I feel like there's a lot of up in the air in that, and I don't really like the wide receiver value there. So I kind of like hitting wide receiver early if possible, end up getting one or two wide receivers early, and then coming back to it in kind of like the 6th, 7th range, 5th, 6th, 7th, where we can get those Judys, Jackson Smith, Drake Londons in that area, because then you get into the rookies, and obviously rookies have immense value this early on before the draft. Depending on their landing spots, right? Their ADP might rise or fall. So I really like hitting wide receivers there, and then so kind of that's my first tip is hitting wide receiver first two to 3 rounds, obviously draft dependent, skipping kind of like that 4 or 5 range, and then coming back into like the 6th, 7th. And the second tip, and what I'm noticing a lot, is I really like the mid kind of to late round QB. And what I mean by that is you can see right off the bat on this draft, Hurts going first round, Allen going at the 16, Mahomes at the 20, Burrow at the 28, right? So you got a lot of draft capital invested into these top tier picks, and as these are 20 round drafts, I don't see that being in like, I don't see that raising your EV or kind of helping you in any way, right? Obviously, if it gets to a point where, Allen or Mahomes is slipping to the 3rd, back of the 2nd, then sure, then you take them. But I kind of like skipping that range and then hitting maybe even the Fields a little more in the 4 or 5. Don't really like Herbert in that or Lawrence, but I really like hitting Fields or Lamar, because then you still got those top 3 round picks to get those skill positions, and then coming back and then hitting Fields and Lamar. And then if I don't hit those, I like skipping all the way till like the 9th, 10th, 11th rounds, where you can get those late round flyers in like Daniel Jones, Lance, Russell, Kyler even, and all these rookies. Because then you not only open yourself up to these players having good seasons, but you also can back into stacks. So what I mean by that is I ended up taking Cortland Sutton in the A tier, right? Backed into a Russell Wilson, Cortland Sutton, Javonte Williams stack, right? So you get I find that these kind of late round QBs help you get into more stacks and also help you get into different stacks, right? So what I mean by different stacks is with these rookie QBs or free agent QBs. So in this one, I took Stroud and Richardson. So Stroud's projected, I guess, to be the #1 pick. So I backed myself into a Stroud and Nico Collins stack with the Texans, assuming the Texans obviously trade up. And then I took Anthony Richardson because you don't know where he's going to go, right? There's rumors he might go all the way up to 1. There's rumors he's going to be a top 10 pick now. So maybe I paired him with like a Chuba Hubbard or one of my rookie wide receivers that I drafted. So yeah, those are kind of my tips to begin this video. Now let's hop into the draft and see how it goes. So we're off and away on this draft. It kind of sucks that I got another mid-round pick because I had one in my other draft, but we'll work with it. Off the bat, this first round pick, I kind of like going that, kind of like getting a top 5 wide receiver here. Whether it be Jefferson, Jamar, Kupp, or Hill. I really haven't taken McCaffrey or Kelsey here. I don't really like investing in Kelsey at this spot, but because then again, as I kind of alluded to, I like those kind of late round tight ends. Sorry, I didn't allude to it, but the same with those kind of QBs. I kind of like going late round tight ends, especially in this 20 round. So good, someone took Kelsey there, so I'm guaranteed one of those top 5s. I did take Kupp in my last one, so do I take Hill or let's just take Hill. Let's change it up a bit, because then. So I'll chime back in here. A pretty normal start to the draft. This guy backed into an Allen Diggs stack. But otherwise pretty normal year. Let's take a look at what we're looking with. So as I kind of alluded to before, I'm not going early QB at this spot. I honestly don't hate the Waddle pick here, because then you can back yourself into a Tua stack with Hill. And then the running backs, I kind of like skipping running back here, because in hopes of just landing a running back in the 3rd, because I don't see much of a difference in the running backs. But I think I'm gonna go wide receiver here. And do I just do it with the Waddle and then just take a Tua late, right? Because I like those late on quarterbacks. I don't hate that. We'll see what this guy does. Okay, so he took the Mahomes. I guess let's do it. You know, first video on the channel. Let's back ourselves into a nice Tua stack. Hope barring anyone taking anything stupid. I kind of like. Oof, this is a tough choice because I really like Olave in this spot. And as I alluded to in the tips section, he's kind of my last of this receiver range. I'm not taking Burrow, so I guess we'll see what happens. I kind of like Tennis too, but he's gone. Debo, I could just do and hit up the Olave, get my kind of receiver core set. Okay, Jacobs. Yeah, I'll just take Olave. Take Olave there. Get those 3 early wide receivers, which I really like, because then the next 2 rounds, I can go running backs or tight ends. Taking a look at this draft board, kind of weird picks at this turn. So we had a Joe Burrow, Lamar. Burrow at that ADP is not bad. He usually goes early 3rd. But then a follow up to Lamar. It's kind of weird. This guy takes 2 tight ends. Not bad, I guess, with that Andrews and Hawkinson, but that double QB, honestly, wouldn't recommend, just because then you kind of box yourself in, because you're not going to be able to take any QBs late if ADP falls. So kind of boxing yourself in there. We're approaching our pick here. As I alluded to, this is a range where I don't hate Fields, pending he falls. I don't really hate Fields. The receivers, again, I like on the way back, so I don't really like the Ridley here, Michael Pittman, the Chris Godwin. I like this range down here. So honestly, might just go with Fields here and see where we go from there. Field stacks are so nice because you can pick Fields now and then just wait. So if you pull up here, Chicago, so you have Chicago. So you can back yourself into Herbert, Mooney, Montgomery, Komet, Claypool. Like Herbert, Fields has none of his stacking partners going early, so you can just stack them on late, and then even maybe pair yourself with a wide receiver too, right? Because high chance Chicago trades back, acquires a couple firsts or seconds, so you can always have that chance where you pick one of those rookie receivers and they pair with Fields, which is going to be super unique in these contests because no one knows that. because it's pre-draft, right? So after draft, obviously those stacks can become more common, but if you can have a Fields to like a JSN or Fields to like a Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnson, then that becomes more unique in these contents because no one else has that stack. So I really like going Fields in that scenario. But yeah, as I kind of alluded to, I really like the receivers in this range. Running backs, I don't hate Gibbs or even Jones, Javonte. So I might go JSN. Let's see, yeah. Probably going to go JSN. Always gives us a chance that Chicago does take him. And we back ourselves in the field stack. This guy's taking 3 tight ends already, which is crazy to me. What are you doing, man? This guy's drafted 3 tight ends already. Okay, and this guy's drafted 3 quarterbacks. But as we kind of get to our next spot, this guy, man. 3 running backs, 3 tight ends. And you know, he's going a different route. We'll see if it works out for him. But I still don't get that 3 tight ends because you're on max starting 1, maybe 2 each week. But we were able to land the Gibbs here, which I had no inclination we were going to be able to. But I'll gladly take the rookie Gibbs. So closing in on our next pick. No one's taking QB in front. I'm not worried about that. No one's taking tight end. It's kind of too early for me on that. Don't really like the Dobbins or Kamara. I'm probably just going to end up going receiver here again, looks like. So we got Tua coming up at 95, so I'll need to pick. I'll probably need to pick him next round. I'm either going Addison or Quinton. Quinton's projected to go higher, I know that. Addison. Let's take, I think I took an Quentin Johnson's here before. We'll take the Addison for now. Alright, just coming up to our next pick, I just had to notice this. So this guy's taking 4 running backs, 3 tight ends, and this guy's taking 4 quarterbacks in the first, 7, 8 rounds? This guy, no, this can't be real. 4 tight ends and 4 running backs. That's a really weird start. But a couple of guys I wanted to take, Akers and Charbonnet, are gone. It's unfortunate because I kind of want a running back, but that might just back us into taking Tua here. And I don't necessarily hate it. It gives us that stack. I don't like going run 2 QBs out early, but then also now I don't have to worry about QBs. I'll probably pick up one in the last 19th or 20th round. But yeah, so we open ourselves up. We got that Miami stack with us. We got our Fields with maybe a couple wide receivers, rookie wide receivers, and yeah. Alright, so I'm really glad I took Tua there just because we had Jared Goff and Danny Dimes go after that, and I think Tua was the next in ADP, so I'm happy I went Tua there because then it also takes away a pick from them. But coming up here, it's either I think it's Herbert or Williams. Herbert, obviously, with the news that they shouldn't re-sign Montgomery, but you never know. And then Jamal, with the obvious news that I think that is saying Swift aren't in their offseason plans, but I really like Bateman and Myers and Cooks here. I'll just take the Herbert here. Again, that was kind of my last, Herbert and Williams were kind of my last in that range. Approaching our pick. You guys might be wondering why I haven't taken a tight end yet. It's fine. I don't need to take a tight end. I'll just take a couple of them late. Hopefully, a couple of them flash out. Hopefully I get a decent enough score from them weekly. But still, this guy at the ending here has taken only running backs and tight ends. Finally took his first receiver in Jacoby Myers. But still crazy going that long without a wide receiver. It's pretty crazy there. As we're approaching our pick, got 2 guys in the queue. Obviously Mooney for that Chicago with field stack, and then we got Hyatt. Okay, Mooney goes there. Alright, I really want Hyatt here then. Yeah, I don't see much else. Not gonna take a QB. Guess maybe Downs. Running backs could get on the way back. Yeah, I don't see much here. So yeah, I'm glad I took Herbert there because the running backs here, I don't really like. Juju goes off the board there. This guy probably will take Hyatt though. Oh, he took Kyler. Okay, back myself into that Hyatt. So a lot of rookies in this draft. We got 3 of the rookie wide receivers, a rookie running back. Hopefully, one of them lands on Chicago for that Chicago stack, but we'll see if not. Alright, taking a look at what I got so far. 6 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 2 QBs. Again, I don't really like, so I'm taking Komet if he falls for tight end. Wide receivers, these wide receivers are pretty good, but I like the value on Komet, and I like that stack. So you guys should always be thinking about stacks in these drafts. So what I mean by stack is multiple position people on the same team. It obviously helps because, especially last year, Jacksonville, if you took any Jacksonville stacks, it was nice because you took Lawrence for really cheap along with all those Jacksonville guys, and they just help push you, right? If the team does good offensively, you know that the players in that offense will do well. So you're basically betting on a team to do well, and then if they do well, you get all those points. So I really like the Komet play here. This guy might take him though. Please don't take him. Please don't take him. Please don't take him. Please don't take him. Right, he took downs. This guy might. Okay, no, he doesn't. So we back ourselves into that Komet, and I don't hate that because now we got Fields, Herbert, and Komet for sure, with one of these wide receivers as a maybe. Alright, coming back to our pick here. This guy finally decided to turn around, took a 2 wide receivers and the quarterback there. I kind of wanted a running back here. I don't hate taking Eli Mitchell, because of how often CMC gets injured, and we know how much Shanahan loves Eli Mitchell, especially during the regular season. Obviously, come playoffs, it was much different, but yeah, I think that's an easy pick, Eli Mitchell. We're trying to shore up that running back department. Obviously, it's weaker compared to our other spots, but okay, I'm just going to take the mayor here. Shore up that tight end room a bit, and we'll see what happens when we get back on the clock. To our pick again, just kind of looking back. So what have we got? So we got 2 tight ends, so I'm just going to skip on the tight ends for now. I'll grab one later. Same with QB, there's no need to rush. I've kind of added a couple of the QBs I'm looking at. If Madison makes it back though, I think that's going to be an easy click. Tyjae Spears, another rookie. McKinnon's not even bad either, right? Oof. I think I'll take Madison though. I feel like Madison could... Oh, this is tough though. Madison. Okay, I'll take Madison here. Again, I feel like he had some standalone weeks, especially last year. Just kind of taking over Cook's role for a bit, but he also has a chance he goes somewhere in free agency. I think he's a free agent, but we'll see. And then yeah, so we can basically call this a rookie draft. Like, I have how many rookies? I have 5 rookies on my team, so a lot dependent on the rookies. But that's the nice thing about these drafts is these rookies can either skyrocket in ADP. So looking back, Gibbs, JSN, Addison, Hyatt, Meyer might be crazy at these ADPs, or they might go down in ADPs, which is obviously a loss. But hey, you gotta live with the highs and you gotta live with the lows. All right, Damon Harris gone. I think I take Nico here. I really like his outlook, just because Cooks can. We saw what he was doing a couple weeks during last season. I played him in DFS, I should know, but Cooks potentially gone. CJ Stroud, the likely quarterback, going there. So Nico Collins, pending they don't draft another receiver, could be the wide receiver 1, probably wide receiver 2. So I've been drafting him a lot actually, as this kind of last round, not last round, but late round flyer, especially during these rounds. But yeah, don't hate that pick. All right, got a couple guys in the queue. I like ending these drafts with 3 QBs, 3 tight ends. Obviously, I probably mix that up if I take an early Mahomes or Allen or Kelsey or something like that. But with this draft format, I'm definitely taking a 3rd tight end. 3rd QB probably, even though I took the Fields. All right, Richardson goes there. That's interesting. So his ADP is obviously skyrocketing, and obviously with all that news of him going 1st overall and all those bets coming in. But McBride's not bad here, but I still like a couple options that could go later. So I might skip. I'm gonna actually go McBride here. So I saw a couple guys on Twitter kind of beefing him up a bit, the Dwayne McBride. I don't hate that. Another rookie running back. Nearing our next pick. Just looking at kind of like the draft. Still two tight ends I like, so don't think I necessarily need to reach. Actually, I might have to. Let's see what we got. So all these guys, one tight end, so this guy might take a tight end. Again, does anyone interest me at running back? So running back, wide receiver is not really interesting me. Ritter, I can definitely wait on till later. I really like Ritter this year. Because again, you can back into those London Pitts Ritter stacks, which is nice. And then, especially if they don't take a QB, which I'm hearing they're not gonna. I'm hearing they're gonna actually ride out with Ritter. So Ritter's actually someone I like because you can get him really cheap right now, and his ADP could not skyrocket, but definitely go up if they don't draft a quarterback. Let's take Fan here. All right, we are at pick number 18 now. I'm between two guys, Marshall or Robert Woods. Obviously, Woods, Tennessee last year wasn't the best, and then you got rumors of Cub recruiting him. But I think I'm gonna take Marshall here, just because I definitely feel like his ceiling is much higher, obviously much higher than Woods. And then again, with the young QB coming in, who knows what will happen. So okay, he does take that Ritter, so I don't think I'm gonna take a Purdy or Winston here. So we're gonna have to end off this draft with two quarterbacks, and I don't hate it with that Fields early pick. I would have hated it if I didn't get Fields and I was stuck with two and two others. But especially with Fields only, I'm not mad. And I might just bite the bullet with CEH. And hey, first round pick a couple of years ago. Maybe he can revitalize that. Maybe he can't. Maybe it's Pacheco's job. But hey, we're only looking for a couple weeks, especially with this style of draft, and we'll see if we can get it from him. This is a tough selection. You know, people say last round selections don't matter, but in this case, it does. Because again, um, do I hope for another tight end in this spot? And again, it's a 20 round draft. In the normal Best Ball Mania, which is an 18 round, I wouldn't do 4 tight ends, but we do have an extra roster spot here. And since I didn't take 3 QBs, I might actually take the odd in here. Obviously, he was a rookie last year, and then who knows? Yeah, I'm gonna take the odd in here. Just because, you know, that fourth tight end I feel like is going to be more valuable than another running back in this spot. Obviously, our running back room is not the best. All right, guys, and before we finish off, we'll just take a look at the team again. At quarterback, we have Fields and Tua. Running back, Gibbs, Herbert, Mitchell, Madison, McBride, Clyde. McBride and Clyde. At wide receivers, obviously our best spot of the draft. We got Hill, Waddle, Olave. 3 rookies. 3 of possibly the top 5 rookies, Collins and Marshall. And then at tight end, Komet, Mayer, Fant, and Auten. So I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Again, I'll try to post these as much as possible. Just make sure you guys follow me on Twitter. Hit me up on there at KK10 or at Karamikatra. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel and comment down below if you guys want to see something next. If you guys have any opinions, rate loud fires, whatever. Just so I know that these vids are actually helping you guys. And that'll be it for now. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.